Welcome to Cartomancy Mesquite. I'm Angela. Today we're covering the Tower and the Death card versus, let me see if I can make this a little more visible, versus the playing cards. In the playing cards, we don't have a Tower card. We do have a Death card, but there can be slightly different. So what we're going to go over is we're going to cover what is the difference and how would you tell if you had, say, a big disaster coming with with the tower as in the Tower card. How do you tell that in the playing cards? Now the Death card is really pretty similar. There isn't a whole lot of difference with the Death card. It's pretty much an ending of something. Hi Teresa, good to see you. Today I figured I'd go over the Tower and the Death card versus the playing cards. That way you'll know which one you're getting. I mean, the Tower, we don't have one in the playing cards, but we do have a Death card, and they can be slightly different. So I'm just going to work around both of those. And there are a lot of differences, but when you do with the playing cards, when you get those with the playing cards, you need a lot more cards to get you to the where the worst is the worst. Like we don't have one card for absolute disaster. That can make part of it. Okay. Right now I'm digging through the cards and finding the ones that would relate to a Tower or Death moment. Because it takes a lot more to get there to a Tower. So let's see, can we get involved? Let's see. There's our Death card. As you can see, with all the cards that I'm pulling out, it takes a lot to get there so far as having a Tower or an actual Death. Well, that could be involved too. See, it's nearly the entire deck that would relate. Okay, I think I got out all the ones I'm going to need for this. Hi, Jane. Just stopping by free today and going to a gem show. Oh, great fun. Have a blast. Do like I do and spend way more money than you actually have. That's what I do at a gem show. And sometimes I get to sneak into Bisbee, Arizona. That's a place to go for gems, let me tell you. And you don't need to go, you can go during a gem show. You can sneak out there. It's not far from the gem show. Okay, I need more jacks and more kings. I missed some of them. But what I'm doing, Jane, is I'm going over what would be the equivalent of the death and the tower card in the in the playing cards. Okay, that should be about it. Yeah, check out Bisbee. There's a guy there. He's a gemologist, and he has a ton of stones. I mean, a ton, and deals. Oh my God, will you get deals there? He's really good on his prices. Yep. Okay. Now I think I'm almost ready for this. There we go. Now the main thing about difference between the death card in the tarot versus the playing cards is that there's no king. Hi, Hypnicity. Hi, Peace Mama. Good to see you. I'm going over the difference between the tower card, the death card, and the death card, and what would be equivalent of the tower in the reading the playing cards. Now, for the tower, what you're going to see is a whole lot of jacks. They're a whole bunch of them. A whole bunch of jacks is a man in uniform. If they're all together, and then also a bunch of kings together are men in uniform. These are most likely to be judges. If there's a lot of them, they're judges. Like 3 or 4 of them, it's going to be like going to the judge, going to court. A lot of jacks are going to be a bunch of cops, like that, like your house surrounded by cops. And there's a lot of other things that are tells that go along with that. Number one, gossip will show up then. You'll see gossip. You'll see unpleasant surprises. You've got an enemy. Marriage card. Somebody could be messing around and ending your marriage. Hi, Vivian. Good to see you. Oh, let me get this Hypnicity. I want to read this. Okay. I got a really interesting hit yesterday. It's way out there. Is it possible that G.W. Bush or someone close to him is the character known as Q? I'm going to have to do a question on that. I'm starting that Hypnicity. I'd like to know that one. Although W is not smart enough, and G.W. Bush is or H.W. Bush is the daddy. He's the smart one, but he only reads at 7th grade level. So I'm kind of thinking maybe Dick Cheney. That would be my guess, but I'm gonna read on that in a few minutes. Yeah, and with the death card, money, and the work card, it could mean your money's coming to an end. With you, if you have the death card, the money and work, that could be a job coming to an end and your money's going to run out. You're not going to have any. Or like your car is in question. That could be the end of your car. If they're right up next to each other, Yeah, that would add to it. The news also affects it. Hospital with the death card. If you've got the hospital, the death card, um, shedding tears, all of those together, that could be a physical death. And then there's somebody wants to fight, so that's going to bring an end to something. It could be an end to a relationship. It could be a death. It depends on if you have some more of these surrounding cards. That could be a death. And then you have legal issues. That could be the end of a marriage if it's with the marriage card. See, you got to look at all the cards around it. For the end of a marriage, if you have the jealousy, the death card, the legal, and the marriage, you've got a definite divorce there. Okay, that's a good point. That may help someone else. Another one that could mean, a death is with surgery with it. If you've got surgery, the death card, tears, legal, all of these things can go together to make an actual physical death. There's also drinking and drugs can bring a problem with that. Someone being angry. You got to look at all of these cards together to decide whether it's a physical death or the end of something like a divorce, things like that. All of these pulled together will do it. Somebody being worried. Close at hand is a big one. Close at hand means that any of the cards surrounding the death, if you have the close at hand right near that death card, then it's going to happen very soon. Yeah, I got you, ethnicity. Yeah, see, um, W was the front man for Cheney. Okay, and then you have the card for finding out. You're going to find out something about a death, and the other cards around it will tell you what you're going to find out. And then, of course, there's always the lie. Somebody's going to lie about something about a death every time. I don't care what kind of death it is. Generally, somebody's going to lie about it, especially if it's a physical death. There's going to be somebody lying about it. You keep getting the coffin card in Lenormand. Yeah, I would look at the cards around it really closely. I mean, the ones right up next to it, and read that into a story and see what you get. The Lenormand, I like the Lenormand. Okay, and of course, there's always this one is the kiss of death. Signing papers. If they want you to sign papers, something is, and you have the death. If you have the death card and the signing papers, something's coming to an end, or they're trying to make it come to an end. And that's all the death card. Now, that's also the way you find your tower card. Tower card would be the marriage and the death card. See, if you have the death card with all these other cards, it can mean a tower. It depends on how they lay out. You really worry about the alignment with Cheney Harris. It doesn't feel peaceful. Oh, no, it's not. Absolutely not. I agree with you on that. Yep, that's absolutely right. Now the tower is going to me, the tower would either involve the death card or it in reverse, the accident. See, for a death, you're going to have the death right side up. For a tower, it's going to be in reverse. The tower would tell you that there's going to be an accident of some sort or an unforeseen event is going to be your tower. And then you're going to have things like people asking you to sign papers. You're still going to have the lie. You're going to find out about something. And the tower is going to be all of this. Close at hand, I think, would be required for a tower card. Yep. I wouldn't see worried so much because most of the time you don't see the tower coming. Anger could be involved, but not all of the time. Drinking and drugs could be involved. Surgery, I wouldn't think so. Jealousy, I don't think so. Legal, it could be a legal tower. You know, things could come crashing down around a legal issue. And then the fight card, I would say, would be in there probably. And someone shedding tears would indicate a tower. A hospital, probably yes, because a tower usually brings down a whole lot of things on you. And then the news, of course, you're going to get news about a tower, but the news would be right up against this. You're going to get news about this incident really fast. Your car, it could be a really bad wreck, would be the tower, and that would be with the death card, with the accident. The car and the accident will go together. Work could be involved. It could be at your place of work. But you got to build a story around that accident to get you a tower. And then, of course, money is also can be a disaster at any time. Marriage could be in there. That's not a general one. Enemies could be in there. Definitely an unpleasant surprise is going to be there. Gossip, not so much. Surgery, jealousy, not really. But you see how you weave it around? You've got to weave these cards around and look at the way the cards lay. It's really important to know the sequence of the cards, which ones come where in the reading. What's right against what else? I mean, if you're going to have a legal tower or going to have a big court case, a legal tower would be all four kings. It would be at least three of them. And it goes the same way with the men in uniform, the cops. Or it could be, the army, who knows? But these are men in uniform when they're all together, and it takes three or four of them to make a tower. So you have to have all of those cards kind of weaved together, and you're looking at half the deck. I would say probably I wouldn't call it a tower unless you had at least 4 to 6 of these going with it. And that's how I would define the tower and the death card in the playing cards versus the tarot cards. Yep. The thing about the playing cards is you don't just get there's going to be a disaster. You get all of the information about the disaster. What is the disaster? How is it coming about? And the same for the death card. You don't get just there's going to be an ending or a beginning of something. You can actually go through, and if the cards tell you that as you weave your story, you can find out if it's a physical death, if it's the death of a job, the death of a marriage, the death of your car, the death of your home. If your home is right up against a death card, something could happen to your home. That's where the death card differs from the playing cards. And as I read cards for you guys, watch for these kind of things because it's going to come up at some point. in a reading, it's going to come up and you'll see. And the way I read it, you'll know that it's something really bad coming up or if it's a death. And it'll involve at least 4 or 5 cards with it. You know, you're going to have a couple other cards at least to bring about that situation, to define that situation. Now I'm going to read on Nalani's question, hypnicity. I'm going to read on her question. Now, that's very interesting. I like that. And if y'all have any more questions, just go ahead, pop them in the chat. I'll leave those two right there in case we need them. Okay, let's bring up your question. Okay, what we're looking for is GW or someone close to him is Q. Okay, who is Q? I think I'm going to do that as a yes or no and bust it up into a couple of questions. Okay, there we go. Question card. Okay. Let's see if I can put this so y'all can read it. I'm not in my regular space, so I'm all turned around here. Yeah, this way. There we go. And I am looking into that OBS to see about how to change from one camera to the next easily. It's been really busy here. Today is the last day of all the remodeling. Yay! It's only been about a month. The little helper that comes and does all the little stuff, he told me yesterday, he says, it's been about a month. He says it, he's really had fun being here. I showed him where the tacos, where you could get the best tacos right around here. He lives a little ways off, and he was thrilled. He went and got us both tacos for lunch one day. But the house is so much better. Now I've got to get everything rearranged because I've been moving from room to room. And then after I get everything put back together, then we'll have a walkthrough. Okay, let's see, which one is it? Is GWQ? Is GW Bush Q? Is GW Bush Q? I've never thought to ask that, but I always wondered who it was. Okay, there's a married dark woman at a party. She's going to end up getting surgery. So whatever she does at that party, she better watch herself. Okay, there's a minor quarrel. About the borrowing of money. Somebody's going to be happy. They'll be drinking at the time. There you go, that drinking is coming up. And that would be a definite no, but this married woman is going to be drinking. She's going to be happy about the situation. You're going to hear about this bit of gossip. There's going to be a minor quarrel about the borrowing of money, but she's going to be happy. So I'm guessing that she's going to get the money. Oh, I like that too. Hang on. Nalani, you're on fire today. Okay, I got you started. Okay, so no, it's not G.W. Bush. But Cheney, yeah, that's a good possibility. I'm sorry, I'm a little clumsy today. I took a fall in my sister's, not my sister, my daughter's yard yesterday. I really banged up my knee and my wrist. Okay. Oh, you had several hits yesterday? Put them in there. Yeah, it'd be nice. I'd find out, wouldn't it? Yeah, and it was a big ouch. My knee is twice its normal size. I'm just hoping it didn't mess up my back anymore. Still haven't had those vertebrae, that surgery for the vertebrae, broken vertebrae done yet. So the house kind of delayed it. I couldn't have the surgery done while the house was being turned upside down. And if I did the surgery first, then it would be a year and a half before I could get the house done. So that's how the house came first. Okay. Is Dick Cheney Q? Is Dick Cheney Q? He's sneaky, conniving, and all that stuff. There's a fight. Somebody's going to be happy because there's a fight about a child. That doesn't make any sense, so it's definitely going to happen. Okay, is Dick Cheney Q? Q has been going on long enough for him to have been there, and at a dead minimum, gotten it started. But it's not looking like it. Let's see. One more card. This says yes. Not a definitive yes. If I had one more red card, I'd say absolutely for sure. Oh, yeah, absolutely, Nalani. You know it. You know it. Yeah. So it's very, very possible that it's Dick Cheney is Q. There's news about money in the company of some other people. The money has to do with marriage and a love affair. I would say that somebody's having problems. Their marriage is in trouble. You're going to hear about it. It's news. It's not you. It's somebody else. You're going to get the news about somebody's messed up marriage, and money is at the root of it. And you'll be in the company of others, so it'll be a little bit of a crowd. Yeah, you see my rings are all mixed up. I had to figure out how to get rings on this morning because my knuckles are twice the size that they normally are. So I had to rearrange them all. Yeah, it was a spill. But I would say that, yes, Cheney is very possibly Q. I wouldn't expect him to be Q now. I would think maybe that he has moved that on to somebody else. Somebody else is handling it. Now, Liz Cheney, I would suspect just because she was a Cheney, but then again, she's too no nonsense, if you know what I mean. Okay, that brings up another question on this very thing. Did Dick Cheney pass the Q mantle on to somebody else? Did Dick Cheney pass the mantle of Q on to somebody else? Did Dick Cheney pass the mantle of Q on to somebody else? And this is exactly why I don't use my personal cards to read these. kind of questions. Did Dick Cheney pass the mantle of Q on somebody else? Did the Cheneys hire the incompetent shooters? Good one. Okay, got to start on that one. Okay, there's a letter or an email. Someone's going to shed tears to you about it. You're going to be fighting mad. So I don't know what that's about, but somebody is getting a letter or an email that's going to really set you off. If you're anything like me, it doesn't take much. I'm terrible. Yes, he did hand it off. He did hand it off. And you've got a kiss coming from an enemy. Somebody that you think of as a friend is going to say, give you a kiss on the cheek, a hug, something like that. And you're going to get a letter or email from them. It has to do with work and their car. They may be wanting to borrow your car because of their work. Don't trust that person all that much. Yeah, Nalani, I'm not much into conspiracy theories, but I know what I know. And I worked in the government enough to know the sneaky, lie, cheaty people. Okay, I think we've beaten that dead horse, so it's Dick Cheney. He's still in on it. So let's go to the next question we got. Did Trump participate in bringing the towers down? That's a good question because I do know that he financially benefited massively from the Twin Towers coming down. He got a lot of money out of that. He had insurance on a building. Yep, he got a chunk of change. Okay. Did Trump participate in bringing the towers down? Did Trump participate in bringing towers down? Did Trump participate in bringing the towers down? Did Trump participate in bringing the towers down? Okay, there's a gift from an older man, a dark older man. It's going to make somebody happy. That's a little bit of news you're going to hear, a little bit of gossip. There's good luck with a child. It's a fair boy. An older married man. Oh, that's a definite yes. Yep. He had something to do with it. What he had to do with it, I don't know, but he did have something to do with it. Oh, yeah, I agree with you right on that one. Yep. That's exactly why. He wants him dead, to be honest with you. I would expect she wants him dead. See, he made a whole lot of enemies that he does not even understand are enemies. He doesn't get it. He does not get it. It's a definite yes on this one. He was involved. Okay. So Cheney was Q, or at very least the head of it, seeing what, pulling the strings, maybe even starting it, getting it started. I would think he would get somebody to start it, to be honest with you. You've had remote views of meetings with Rudy, Pooty, and Don. You know, that's funny you should say that, because for like the last 4 years or so, maybe a little longer, I've had this feeling that all three of those people are going to go down with this election, that they're going to die either before the voting or they're going to die around it for this election. I don't expect any of the three to live. I really don't. And it's just a knowing. It's something that comes over you and you just know it. That's what it is. Okay, let's see what's the next one. Did the Cheneys hire the incompetent shooters? My first guess would be no. Yeah, it's going to bring GW back into the spotlight. Yep. Did the Cheneys hire the incompetent shooters? I would say no on that, because both Cheneys are excellent shooters. They're trained. I mean, I can tell you that. Like when Dick Cheney shot his lawyer in the face, that was a definite. He shot him for a reason. That was definitely a hit, so to speak. He shot him just to give him a message. He shot him with birdshot in the face. That's not going to kill you, but it's going to hurt like hell and cause problems. He did that on purpose, because I know about bird hunting. I know how that works. He would have had to have raised his gun, turned 90 degrees to hit that man in the face. That isn't accidental. When you got to raise your gun and turn 90 degrees and then pull the trigger, that's intentional. Did the Cheneys hire the incompetent shooters? Did the Cheneys hire the incompetent shooters? See, I'm not much on theories. I just go with the facts that I know. Okay. Wow, you've got some success coming. I don't know what you're working on, but you've got success coming. You just got 3 sevens as the immediate energy. So whatever you're working on right now, you got success coming. And this isn't what I normally do with my card reading. This is just all in fun for me today. Add a little muscle relaxer and a pain reliever, and I'm up for a lot of fun. I took some Tylenol and a muscle relaxer, so now I'm kind of feeling decent. Okay. Did the Cheneys hire the incompetent shooters? Absolutely not. No. There was an argument and a fight about it, and this older dark man, and he's kind of an authoritative person. He had something to say about it. But no, the Cheneys didn't hire the incompetent shooters. I would say the incompetent shooters were sent by the MAGA bunch because every single MAGA out there that is seeing the light, so to speak, is pissed. You know, they got to be. They're starting to see his BS. There's nothing that he promised them that he actually did. So Trump has so many people looking to kill him. I mean, look at Putin. He owes Putin a load of money for the things that he didn't produce that Putin paid him to give him. So he's got Putin, he's got Xi Jinping, all of the tariffs and all that mess. He had deals with Xi Jinping, and then he goes back and hits him with tariffs like that. Oh, yeah. Everybody and his brother has a reason, except for Democrats, because we all want to see him in jail. Democrats are the only people on the planet that don't want him dead. There you go. That makes it easy. Absolutely. Absolutely, Nalani. Hi, Akila. How are you? If you got a question, just drop it in. I do have a little bit of time left. I think I got one more question started, so I can take any more questions that you've got. Okay, I just answered that one, so I don't even have one more question left. Okay. Yeah, I'd love to see justice done too. That's why I'm saying that there isn't a Democrat out there that wants him dead. We all want to see him hang legally. And I don't mean by a rope, I mean by a lot of law. That's the way I'd like to see him go, with a whole lot of law down on his head. Yep. So, does anybody else have any questions? I'm pretty much up for anything. Been entertaining Nalani for a little while. Does anybody else have a question? I'm kind of not really on my game today after that spill yesterday. So when I'm not on my game, questions tend to get answered a little more bluntly, a little more quickly. But yeah, if anybody's got any more questions, we got almost 20 minutes. Okay, Peace Mama, what's your question? Do you want just a general read, or do you have a specific question in mind? Yeah, Keela, it's one of those days. I'm not in my normal state here. So, and the questions that the answers tend to be more right on the money in a way, because I don't have my ego in the middle to add anything or take anything away. It's easier to separate ego from what I'm really getting. Oh, that's a good one. I'm glad you came up with that one, Peace Mama. Will the voter purge in North Carolina of 750,000 people change the outcome? Will the voter purge in North Carolina change the outcome? Will the voter purge in North Carolina change the outcome? Okay, someone's marriage is in legal trouble. Somebody's going to be getting divorced. It's a married woman, medium complected to fair. That's just something you're gonna hear about it. It's not you. Someone's having a love affair. Shows you going out of town. Someone's gonna want to fight about you going out of town. And hallelujah, that's a no. They didn't do enough. I like that one. Thank you for that question. That's fabulous. No, it absolutely will not make a difference. We have only 2 red cards here. Reds are yeses. The black cards are no. There you go. So you got a definite no. It's not going to make any difference at all. Me too, Peace Mo. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Yes. Yep. Yeah, down here in Texas, it's a different story. They do so many things to cheat that, yeah, it does make a difference. But in North Carolina, that's not going to make a difference. Here, I volunteered as a poll worker. They had an advertisement for poll workers, and I called and I said I'd like to volunteer. And she says, "Well, give me a minute. Let me look up some information." She comes back on the line and she says, "Honey, you're a Democrat. You're not moral, ethical, or something else to be a poll worker. You have to be a Republican to have those kind of morals." And I just hung that phone up. What an ass. Whoops, there goes my my pain scale is going up. It goes from shit to mofo. So hold on to your hats. Okay. Does anybody else have a question? And you're welcome, Beef Mama. Oh yeah. Yep. That's an oh my God, oh wow. And can you believe it? Oh, I wanted to strangle that woman. And then here in Mesquite specifically, if a Democrat runs for office, mysteriously their house burns down. And that's regularly. That's not a if, it's a given. Yep, you're absolutely right, Peace Mama. It is bad. So when people tell you that it's the voters that are causing the problems here, voters got nothing to do with it. It has to do with Ken Paxton, Greg Abbott, Ted Cruz, Cancun Cruz. I did a not magic on him. I got him going off to Cancun, and it got little mice on it eating away at his votes and his money. You just watched the only movie that was on the blacklist during the Redskins, and it was done in Texas called Salt of the Earth. Oh yeah, yeah, I remember that one. It's way too right. It's on YouTube. Yeah, I know why it's banned. Yep, you're absolutely right. Had a little too close to the truth for some people around here. Yep. So does anybody else have a question? I can go on for a little bit longer. Yep. Yeah, last night was a bit rough. I was patching me together quick. But it's nothing serious. I've had a spill before. I need to go back and watch your other card read. I find this very interesting. Good. I'm glad you do. Can't think of anything, Teresa? Okay, everybody put your vote in. Should I call it a day? Can I have a birthday read? Birthday on the 3rd. Okay, sure. Okay. How is Peace Mama's birthday. Good to go. Thank you, Nalani. Okay, I'm going to answer this one and then I'm going to call it a day. And happy birthday, Peace Mama. My grandson's on the 4th. So we're already in birthday preparations. Hi, Joyful Journey. Good to see you. Okay, how is Peace Mama's birthday going to go? I hope it's a really good one. Okay, somebody's going to find out about them having to go out of town. It's somebody you haven't seen in years. Somebody may pop up that you haven't seen in a long time. You'll hear from them soon. Perfect. There we go. Okay, you've got 3 6s there. Gotta look up and see what the 3 6s are. I don't get to read the multiples lately. I'm getting back to it. Let's put it this way. That's an unpleasant surprise, and the root of it is jealousy. So somebody's going to be jealous of you because they're two of them are reversed. So of the 3, okay, I got your Joyful Journey. Okay, so you've got 3 6s here. Somebody's jealous of you. And we have there's an somebody's getting an unpleasant surprise. It's an older married man. He's going to have to have some surgery. He's going to find out about it soon. And they're going to have a party. So I'm going to say that this isn't serious surgery. If there's a party around it, it ain't serious surgery. It's like getting a facelift. It's not going to be much. Then you have at that party, it's not your party, it's somebody else's party. Somebody's going to be jealous about somebody else being out of work. They're going to be angry about somebody being out of work and jealous at the same time. But you got luck coming out of this. Whatever this argument is, it doesn't involve you and may entertain you. That would be nice if you're entertained by the argument rather than being part of it. Okay, and the someone who's bringing you some luck is a married man. He's a fair complected married man, older. You're going to be around water when you come across this person, and there's a fair married woman with him, and you haven't seen these people in years. So it's going to be nice to see these people again. And I can tell you that because there's so much red around it. You don't have a ton of dark cards in here. So it's going to be a pleasant surprise. You're going to meet up with some people that you haven't seen in a long time. Let me give these one more shuffle. Okay, it's definitely a fair married man that's getting the surgery. and he's going to get an unpleasant surprise about it. So it might be that he can't get the surgery or he can't get it when he wants to. This fair married woman, you're going to see her soon. You're going to see her around water. She's not going to be working and she's going to be angry. So it's this fair married woman is the one that's going to be working. You know that she's going to lose her job or whatever, but she's going to be angry about it, and you're going to be around water when you talk about it. And then you've got somebody's jealous at a party. One of these people that you haven't seen in a long time. One of those people is going to be jealous of you, and it's going to be at a party. And then here's the surgery. Someone brings you luck. For somehow the surgery brings you luck, or you get have luck around the surgery. And it's going to be this fair married man. And he's going to get an unpleasant surprise about that surgery. And he's going to find out. It's going to be a little while, but he's going to find out at the same time. The surgery, the finding out, the unpleasant surprise, that's all wrapped into one. So if he wants to get, plastic surgery, he's not going to be able to get it, or it's not going to be when he wants it. And it's not really important because there's not a lot of other cards around it. There's no death card, no accident, no a dozen other cards that could have an effect on it. None of them are bad. So I would say it's probably something that's very elective surgery that he's not going to be able to get, or not going to be able to get when he wants it. So that's what's swirling around the energy around your birthday. And to me, there's nothing bad. Some of it's kind of enjoyable. You get a good giggle out of some of the stuff that's going on. It's not bad news for you. Happy birthday, Peace Mama. Okay, now I'm going to do Joyful Journey and call it a day. You're welcome, Peace Mama. I'm glad you have a great birthday. And enjoy any of the intrigue because it doesn't involve you and isn't going to hurt you. So just, if anything happens that's even slightly unsettling, get a smile on your face, girl. It ain't your problem. Yep. Okay, Joyful Journey, a message for you. Let's do a general read and see. Okay. You're going to be in company of a person who's not working, and it's going to be in your home. Oh no, somebody's coming to your house that's not working. They don't have a job. Okay. This one's working out to be a little complicated. Okay, you got a little bit of fear around you. It's somebody else's fear, though. The cards are in reverse. So whatever you're fearing should be somebody else's fear. Don't worry about it. It's somebody else's problem, not yours. And I do mean that. That somebody else should be fearing that situation. There's a man in uniform. There's fear. But with the 310s, you are going to go somewhere where there's laughter. So enjoy yourself. Take in a comedy show. Enjoy yourself. You do have laughter here. And right here, we have the two black tens. That's a trip out of town. There's a trip out of town. For someone's going to be in the hospital. They're going to lie about it. And drinking and drugs are involved. Well, they're going to the hospital. There's drinking. There's drugs involved all the time at the hospital. Yeah, laughter is the best medicine. And I've had plenty of it today. It's been a good show. I've enjoyed this. But yeah, um, you're going somewhere where there's laughter. So, and this trip out of town, it's somebody else's problems, and they brought it on themselves. So don't let it tear you up too much. It may be somebody close to you, but they brought the situation on themselves because it's right there. They were drinking and having drug and taking drugs, and that's general in a hospital visit, but they're going to lie to you about it. So when there's a lie involved, then you know that there was something they brought about their problem. And then you have the 3/8 with this younger man. He's 20s, 30s, dark complected, and he's going to be out of work. But he's the one who's afraid. He's very afraid. It's written. It's written in the cards, and that the cards are all around him. Let me see if I can pick this up and show you how it looks. This will give you an idea when you're reading how to see when it's someone else's fear, and it's his fear at being out of work. Let's see if you can see that. Can you see the two black eights and then the red eight? The eights are all around him. So this dark young man, he's in his 20s and 30s, he's going to be out of work, and he's in a lot of fear about it. So I think he may have brought that on himself too, just because he's in so much fear about it. And then, let me show you if I can pick this up. Here we go. We have the two red jacks. That he's out of work. He's going to go to court about it, and he's going to win. But there's going to be a quarrel about it, and the quarrel is going to happen in your home, but it really doesn't involve you. It's this the dark young man who has all these problems, and a lot of them seem to be brought on by himself. But you're going to find out about it in your home. You're going to be at home when you find out about it, and there's going to be a quarrel about it. But I don't see you involved in the quarrel. You're not here. The quarrel is in reverse. That's how you tell. If the quarrel was upright, if the quarrel was upright like that, that would be your quarrel. Nope. But it was in reverse. That's his quarrel. And you're going to hear about it at home. You're going to be at home when you hear about it. So all of these problems are brought on by someone else. This guy brought, and I'm really going to pick on this guy because he's really the only one here. This young man, dark young man, 20s or 30s. That's your son. He's terrified about finding a job. Yeah. And he's bringing his own problems on himself. He's getting in his own way. If you want to talk to him about it, you need to tell him that part. He's getting in his own way. He needs to look at things totally differently. Tell him to turn his head upside down and think in a different direction. Because the way he's going is not going to fix it. It's going to make it worse. He needs to think about it in a different way. If he's dead set on one job, he ain't going to get that job. If he looks around for a lot of jobs, he's going to be more successful. Just plain statistics bears out every time. The more resumes you put in, the more jobs you apply for, the faster you're getting to the job that you're going to get. And it's just plain statistics. He also needs to look at maybe the job he had was not the job for him, and he needs to look at a different line of work. There's more than a few ways to look at this differently, and he needs to look at it very differently because he's bringing all these problems on himself. He needs to not be drinking, not be doing drugs, behaving himself, and he'll be all right. He'll be fine. But he needs, if he wants to get rid of that terror, if he wants to get rid of that fear, he has to look at it from a totally different perspective. And that's where you can help him. Tell him to change his head around. He needs to apply to, say, at least 5 or 6 jobs a day. Find 5 or 6 to apply for. Oh, he's got severe anxiety. Well, that's doing nothing. It makes that worse. I know a lot about anxiety. Sitting and doing nothing makes it worse. Having a plan and physically doing something will help that anxiety a lot. If he applies for 5, 6 jobs a day, applies for every job he sees, not just the ones that he fits in. I've gotten a lot of jobs where I had no business being in that job. I knew nothing about it. And I went in and I ended up making a success out of it. I've had more than a few careers. And that's from going in and applying for a job that I had no clue about. Tell them to apply for everything. And the physicality of going out, sending resumes out, whatever, doing it on the computer. Tell him to get his feet outside, walk around, go do something else. He could walk into a gas station and see a help wanted poster. It's that easy. He could go in anywhere and get a job. And I don't care if he's applying for a beautician, he's never combed his hair in his life. He can still get a job. It's still possible. And it is that easy. You walk in the door and you say, I'll do it. Yep. Tell them to apply for everything. Do something physical every day. Send out a resume. Make calls. Look things up on the computer. Do all of that. And do it every day. That'll relieve his anxiety. Or at least bring it down a lot. If he just physically does something about his situation. He needs to turn the way he looks at it around. He's looking at it as he's afraid he's never going to get a job. How about looking at it as I'm getting a job and it's coming up very soon. Yeah, working the problem one step at a time helps with anxiety, yes. Avoiding definitely makes anxiety worse, absolutely. But if he makes it fun, make it fun. Apply for everything. Apply for a job as a rocket scientist. There you go. That's one of the things I did. They had this hiring convention, the government did. And I just walked in the door with a resume in my hand. I got the job. I ended up as a forensic auditor working for H.W. Bush, the daddy, and Clinton. I had a top secret plus security clearance, and I've got a permanent security clearance. And I had no idea what I was doing, where I was going. It's just that I saw an ad in the paper for a jobs convention with the federal government, and I went. It's that simple. Walk in the door. Have a resume in your back pocket. Walk in the door. and walk in the door anywhere. Anywhere. Just wander from place to place. The physical activity of getting out there and going from place to place will help. It's just the physical activity will help with the anxiety. Yeah, and Wild Peace Mama. Yeah, it's that simple. I had no job. I just walked into a convention. You know, they were having a hiring convention. It was just, it was straight out of the blue. In fact, when I went to go to that convention, I had been doing inventory at an airplane parts factory. That's what I was doing. I had to go into the restroom and clean up to go to the hiring thing. You have no idea how crazy this can get, but you can do it and you can have fun the whole time. I mean, can you imagine being in there taking inventory and then you sneak into the bathroom to go to the hiring convention and then sneak out the back door, sneak out early? That's exactly what I did. It was hysterical. That night, I mean, I got the job right at the hiring convention. I walked in the door, gave them my resume. They said, "You're hired." I went home and had a ball. It was too much fun. If you must, make them listen to this video. At least you're reading. Make them listen to it. Because I can tell you how easy it is. And he has to think of it that way. He has to think of it as easy. Because even if it takes 3 months, he could end up with the job of a lifetime. I did. I had a great career with the federal government. I had a fantastic career. And they still call me every once in a while and want me to go back to work. Unfortunately, I physically can't work anymore, so that kind of rules that out, but they still try. So, yes, Joyful Journey, have him watch this. He needs to laugh, number one. And number two, he needs a blueprint on how to go about this and how to look at it very differently. Okay? That's my advice for the day. I love you all, and I have had a blast. As bad as I felt this morning when I got up, I've had a blast today, and thank you all. You all made me feel much better. And Joyful Journey, make that son watch this video. He needs it. And I'm going to say goodbye, y'all, and I shall see you next weekend, and we'll have some more fun. Thanks. Y'all have a good day and a good weekend. Bye-bye.